Hello all, welcome to the Counting Well exam prep live session. Before we start the session, let me motivate you a bit. Always remember that life has two rules. Rule number one is never quit, and rule number two is always remember the rule one. We know that exams are around the corner, and the two most important aspects of scoring good are revision and practice. Remember that practice doesn't make you perfect but helps you to perform better. Planning beforehand allows plenty of time for your revision, and so we are here to shoo away your exam fear and help you revise your concepts before it's too late. So, stay tuned to the session and build up the confidence to face your exams. In this session, I will take you through two chapters, Lines and Angles and Practical Geometry from class 7. Let us see some pair of angles. One is complementary angles and the second is supplementary angles. Let us see what are complementary angles. Two angles are said to be complementary if the sum of the measures of the two angles is 90 degree. So you can see here there are angles ABC and angle PQR having measures 40 degree and 50 degree respectively. So these two pairs or these two angles form a pair of complementary angles as 40 degree plus 50 degree gives you 90 degree. Let us see what are supplementary angles. Angles ABC and angle DEF having measures 145 degree and 35 degree gives the sum as 180 degree. Hence, angles ABC and DEF form a pair of angles called supplementary angles. So, what is the main difference between complementary and supplementary? In complementary angles, the sum of the measures of two angles should be 90 degree. Whereas for supplementary angles, the sum of the measures of the two angles should be 180 degree. Let us see pair of angles like adjacent angles, vertically opposite angles and linear pair of angles. Two angles are said to be adjacent angles when they have a common vertex and common arm. So you can see for the first figure, you have angle 1 and angle 2 having a common vertex and common arm shown here. For the second figure, you can say the angles measuring 110 degree and 70 degree are adjacent having common vertex and common arm as shown here. For third one, we can see angles measuring 60 degree and 30 degree are adjacent angles having common vertex and common arm as shown here. Note that angles measuring 110 and 170 degree form a pair of supplementary angles as the sum of their measures is 180 degree. Whereas for the third figure, we can say the angles measuring 60 degree and 30 degree form a pair of complementary angles as their sum is 90 degree. Let us see what are vertically opposite angles. When two lines intersect each other, the opposite angles that are formed due to their intersection are called vertically opposite angles. So you can see angle 1 and angle 2 are a pair of vertically opposite angle. Angle 3 and angle 4 is a pair of vertically opposite angles. So for the vertically opposite angles, you should have two lines intersecting each other so that you will get opposite angles due to their intersection. Let us see what are linear pair of angles. Two angles are said to form a linear pair if the angles are adjacent and are supplementary angles. You can see the angles measuring 30 degree and 150 degree are adjacent to each other and also their sum is 180 degree. So for the pair of angles to be linear, it should satisfy two conditions. First is they should be adjacent, means they should have a common vertex and common arm. And second condition is they should be supplementary, means the sum of their measures should be 180 degree. Let us see pair of lines. What is a transversal? Now a transversal is nothing but a line intersecting two or more lines at distinct points. So the condition here is that line should intersect two or more lines at distinct points. So here you can see this line is intersecting the three lines at three different points. So the line highlighted by yellow is a transversal. So when a transversal intersects two lines, it should have 2 points of intersection. When a transversal intersects three lines, then it should have 3 points of intersection. And for four lines, it should have 4 points of intersection, and so on. Now let us see what are angles made by a transversal. When a transversal intersects two lines, 8 angles are formed. Let us see which are these angles. First, exterior angles. Second, we have interior angles. And third, we have corresponding angles. Let us see what are exterior angles. So these angles are formed when a transversal intersects two or more lines. So the first thing is exterior angles are formed only when a transversal intersects two or more lines. So at least a transversal should intersect two lines. Then each pair of these angles are formed on the exterior sides of the lines and lie on both sides of the transversal. So first of all, you should identify which one is a transversal. Here you can see the line XY is the transversal because it is intersecting two lines AB and CD at two distinct points K and S. Now, what are the exterior sides of the lines AB and CD? They are the region above the line AB and the region below the line CD. So these are the exterior sides. And what are the two sides of the transversal? So you can see to the left of the line XY is one side of the transversal. To the right side of XY is the another side. So exterior angles are nothing but they're formed on the exterior sides of the line. So you have angle AKX, angle XKB as exterior angles. Also CSY and DSY as exterior angles. Note that the number of exterior angles made by a transversal on two lines is 4. So these are the exterior angles. Now let us see what are the interior angles. Again, interior angles are formed when a transversal intersects two or more lines. So at least a transversal should intersect two lines. Then each pair of these angles are formed on the interior sides of the lines. So you can see the interior sides of the lines AB and CD is as shown here, which is highlighted. Now each pair of these angles are formed on both the sides of the transversal as well. Here you can see one angle is formed on this side and one angle is formed on this side as well. So the interior angles for the transversal XY and the lines AB, CD are AKS, BKS, CSK and KSD. So the number of interior angles formed are 4. Let us see corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, first of all, they have different vertices and they are on the same side of the transversal. So here you can see this line is the transversal to the other two lines. Observe that the angles 1 and 2 have different vertices and also they are on the same side of transversal, means to the left side of the transversal. Also, in each pair of the corresponding angles, one angle will be exterior and the other angle will be an interior angle, and there will not be adjacent angles. You can see angles 1 and angle 2. Among these two angles, angle 1 is on the exterior side of the line. So it is exterior angle. Angle 2 is on the interior side of the lines. So it is interior angle. So out of the corresponding angles, one is on the exterior, one is on the interior. So one will be exterior angle, one will be interior angle. And they are not adjacent angles because they do not share a common vertex or a common arm. Same for the angle 7 and angle 8. They are on the same side of transversal. So here you can see this line is transversal to these two lines. Okay. Then 7 and 8, among these two, 8 is the angle 8 is the exterior angle and angle 7 is the interior angle, and they do not have any common vertex or common arm, so they are not adjacent. Let us see how exterior angles and how interior angles can be called alternate exterior and alternate interior. When two or more lines are intersected by transversal, the exterior angles which are on the alternate sides of the transversal are called alternate exterior angles. So here you can see there are four exterior angles, that is angle APX, XPB, CQY and YQD. And which one are alternate? Alternate ones are XPB and CQY, or APX and YQD. So these are lying on the alternate sides of the transversal, correct? So you can see XPB is on the right side of transversal, whereas angle CQY is on the left side of transversal. Same for angle XPB, it is on the left side, whereas angle YQD, it is on the right side of transversal. So there are two pairs of alternate exterior angles for a transversal intersecting two lines. Let us see what are alternate interior angles. When two or more lines are intersected by their transversal, the interior angles which are on the alternate sides of the transversal, means one should lie on the left side of the transversal and other should lie on the right side for this example. When I am saying the left side and right side of the transversal, if the same transversal is in this direction, you can have one angle to above of this transversal and one angle to below side of the transversal. So you can refer as transversal to be having left side and right side, or the above side or the below side. So here you can see angles APQ lies to the left side of the transversal XY, and angle PQD lie to the right side of the transversal XY. That is all the alternate sides of the transversal. So APQ and PQD form alternate interior angles. Similarly, angle BPQ and angle CQP are the alternate interior angles. Let us see transversal to a pair of parallel lines. So till now we have seen a transversal to a pair of lines which need not be parallel. But let us see some properties of angles which lie or which is a transversal to a pair of parallel lines. When a transversal cuts a pair of parallel lines, the corresponding angles are equal. So what are the corresponding angles? They have different vertices, and one angle is interior angle and the other side and the other angle is exterior one. So you can see angle A and angle E are corresponding. Angle D and angle H are corresponding angles. Angle B and angle F are corresponding angles. Angle C and G are corresponding angles. But as the transversal TS is a transversal to parallel lines PR and LN, hence this pair of corresponding angles are equal. Let us see what happens in case of alternate interior angles. Note that angle D and angle F is one pair of alternate interior angles. Angle C and angle E are one more pair of alternate interior angles. These are alternate interior angles because these lie on the alternate sides of the transversal TM. So we have for two parallel lines PR and LN, alternate interior angles equal. Same goes for alternate exterior angles as well. Note that angle A and angle G is one pair of alternate exterior angles, and angle B and angle H is another pair of alternate exterior angles, as they lie on alternate sides of the transversal, plus they are exterior angles lying on the exterior side of the parallel lines PR and LN. And for parallel lines PR and LN and transversal TN intersecting these two lines, we have alternate exterior angles equal. Let us see one more property. When a transversal cuts a pair of parallel lines, two interior angles on the same side of transversal are supplementary. Now, what are the interior angles on the same side of transversal? These are C and F. So these are interior angles, first thing, and these are lying on the same side of transversal. So say it is lying to the right side of the transversal NM. Here NM is a transversal to parallel lines PQ and RS, and C and F are the interior angles to the same side of transversal NM. So their sum is 180 degree. That is, they are supplementary. Also, angles D and E lie on the same side of transversal, that is on the left side of transversal NM, and their sum is 180. That means they are supplementary. Now let us see some basics from the chapter Practical Geometry. So for practical geometry, there are two important things. One is the construction and the other is the instruments needed for the construction. So while drawing geometrical figures, you are using geometrical instruments, and the instruments used are ruler, compass, and protractor. These three are the main instruments used. Now let us see how to construct a line parallel to another line. A line parallel to a given line through a point not on it. So let us draw a line parallel to given line AB through a point C which is not on AB. So this is what given to you. First step is to join A and C. So you are joining A and C. Next, you have to copy the angle CAB at C, that is on other side of AC. So for that, with A as the center, you will take ED, the measure compass equal to distance AD, and mark one arc. Then with F as the center and radius DE, draw an arc to cut this arc at G, then draw a line through G and C. So this is the construction when a line is given and a point exterior to that line is given. Let us see how to construct a triangle using SSS criterion. So constructing a triangle with length of 3 sides given for triangle ABC. We have AB, BC, AC, 5, 6 and 7 centimeter respectively. Usually we take the side with the longest length as the base of the triangle. So we draw first line segment AC with 7 centimeter. Then with A as the center and radius 5. Because one side is 5 and the other side is 6, we'll take a radius 5 and draw an arc. In the next step, we'll take a radius 6 and draw an arc cutting the previous arc at B, and this is to be taken with C as the center. Then we join B and A, B and C, we'll get the required triangle ABC. So this construction is when the 3 sides of a triangle are given. Now let us construct a triangle using SAS criterion. SAS criterion means side angle side. Here the lengths of two sides and the angle included between them are given. Included between them is the angle between the two sides are given. So we are constructing a triangle PQR with QR as 6 cm, PQ as 5 cm and angle PQR as 70 degree. For that again we are taking the side with greater length as the base of the triangle. So we are drawing here line segment of QR of 6 centimeter. As given, the angle PQR is 70 degree, means the angle Q is 70. So we are marking 70 degree at the vertex Q. Then it is given that PQ should be 5 centimeter. So with Q as a center and radius 5, we are drawing an arc cutting the arm of the angle at P. As we have found a point P, we will join P and R, and in this way we have got a triangle PQR given the lengths of its two sides and the angle between them, which is 70 degree. Now let us construct a triangle using ASA criterion. In this construction, you are given two angles and the side included between this, or the side between the two angles are given. So we are constructing a triangle DEF with one side 5 centimeter and the other two angles at the vertices E and F 50 degree and 75 degree each. So as only one side is given, we'll draw that side. So here we have drawn the segment EF as 5 centimeter. Then we can see here the angle E is 50 degree. So we are marking angle or drawing angle 50 degree. Then we are drawing the other angle at F as 75 degree. We will extend these arms to get the third vertex of the triangle D. So we have DEF as a required triangle. Let us see some tricks for the exams. Let us see for linear pair of angles. Note that every pair of supplementary angles need not be a linear pair. Only if the supplementary angles are adjacent, they form a linear pair. Remember that for linear pair of angles, there must be two conditions satisfied. First condition is that they should be adjacent to each other, and the second condition is they should be supplementary. And if any of these conditions are not satisfied, then they are not linear pair of angles. So every pair of linear angles need not be, so every pair of supplementary angles need not be a linear. And if supplementary angles are adjacent, then only they are linear. So in addition to the angles being supplementary, one more condition should be there, that is they should be linear pair of angles. So here you can see angles measuring 130 degree and 50 degree form linear pair because they are adjacent to each other and also they are supplementary. But in second image, you can see there are two angles having measure 60 degree and 120 degree. Their sum is 180 degree. That means they are supplementary, but they are not linear because they are not adjacent to each other. Conversely, if they are adjacent but their sum is not 180 degree, then also they are not linear pair because they are not supplementary in that case. Let us see what are vertically opposite angles and when they are formed. Note that they are formed only when two lines intersect. So we need two lines intersecting for the formation of vertically opposite angles. Here you can see angles AB and CD intersect, and the angle shown by the purple angle marks are vertically opposite, and these two angles are also vertically opposite. But these two angles are not vertically opposite because there is no two lines intersecting here. Now let us see angles formed by a transversal. Angles formed by a transversal, corresponding angles will be equal in that case. Alternate interior angles will be equal. Co-interior angles are supplementary. All these are true only when transversal intersects parallel lines. So only if in the question it is given that a transversal is intersecting parallel lines, then only these properties are true. That means corresponding angles will be equal, alternate interior angles will be equal, and co-interior angles will be supplementary. But if it is not given that the transversal is intersecting parallel lines, then none of these will be holding. And we will not be sure whether the angles will be equal for corresponding and alternate interior, and we will not be sure for the co-interior angles being supplementary. So here you can see angle P is transversal to lines L and M. But angle 3 is not equal to angle 7. Neither angle 3 is equal to angle 6. And angle 3 plus angle 5 is not equal to 180 because line L and M are not parallel to each other. Now let us see how using a sharp pencil is important for construction. It is important because you have to get accurate figures. So using a sharp pencil will take you to accurate figures, and blunt will give you inaccurate angles as well. Next, you should make sure that your ruler has a clean and smooth edges. So do not use a ruler with uneven edges or which is broken from the edges. You will not be able to draw lines correctly because that line will become crooked or shaky. Also, the ruler and protector you are using should have clear markings, and there should be no faded markings because you will not get the accurate angle or the accurate length of any line segment. You will not be able to get accurate measures. Also use a tight compass with a sharp pointer, and make sure that the compass pointer and the tip of the pencil should be at the same level. Also the hinge should be tight. The hinge is nothing but the part of the compass where you are holding the compass. Also, while placing the pointer of the compass, make sure you're placing on the correct point. So whenever you're drawing a circle, make sure it is fixed. The metal tip is fixed at the same point and it is not moving from that point when you are drawing a circle. So do not hold the arms of the compass while drawing an arc or circle, and always hold it on the hinge. Also, you have to hold it tightly while drawing an arc or a circle. Next, let us see, while measuring the required length using the ruler, how you will follow the steps. For example, you have to measure the line segment AB. You have to place the 0 mark at one end point of that line segment and measure where the other end point is. So you can clearly see the other end point is at the mark 4. So the measure of the line segment AB is 4 centimeter. Also, you can use this trick. You can begin by measuring from any mark on the ruler, but make sure you count the divisions correctly until the end point. So if you place the 0 instead of 0, if you place 4 at the end point A, and you check where the other end point lies, you will get it is on the 9 centimeter mark. So the length will be 9 minus 4, which is 5 centimeter. Next, let us see, while drawing a rough sketch of the triangle, why it is important to draw it with the given measurements. So while constructing a triangle with given measurement, first we have to draw the rough sketch of the required triangle. This will help you with the correct construction, means you will not get deviated from the correct figure naming. Okay, so mark the vertices, sides and angles according to the question and then make the actual construction. So you will get the clear idea on which side you have to take as base and on which vertices you have to mark the given angles. Also, naming the triangles correctly is very important. For example, the 3 vertices of a triangle are each marked with a letter. Mark the constructed triangle correctly according to the name given in the question. For example, if you have to construct triangle UVW with UV equal to WV, WV equal to 3 centimeter and angle V equal to 70 degree, you have to remember that the given angle lies at V and not on W. So mark the angle correctly. That is why it is very important to first draw the rough sketch. Let us see, while constructing triangles using SAS or ASA construction. So while constructing a triangle, when two sides and an angle between them are given, we use SAS criterion to construct. For this, we have to draw any of these sides whose length is given. Usually we take length with longer or greater side as the base. Then we construct the given angle at the correct vertex. So you have to note down which angle is given and then construct the given angle at correct one or the correct vertex. You have to cut off the length of other side on the arm of this angle. Similarly, when the two angles and side included between them are given, we use ASA criterion. In this case, only the length of one side is given. Then you have to draw that side and then construct the two angles at the correct vertices, and then you have to extend to meet at a point. Let us see what are some common mistakes that students do. First is, students should not get confused between complementary and supplementary angles. Remember that for two angles to be complementary, their sum should be 90°. For example, here we can see that angles measuring 40° and 50° have their sum 180°. Is it? No. So 50° plus 40° is 90°. It is not equal to 180°. That's why they are complementary angles, not supplementary. Next, vertically opposite angles are not formed only for two intersecting lines, but are formed when a transversal cut a number of lines. So the important thing is there should be two intersecting lines. But when a transversal is cutting a number of lines, in that case also that transversal cuts line AB also and line CD also. So here we have two pairs of intersecting lines. One is line XY intersecting line AB. Other is line XY intersecting line CD. So in the first figure, we have 1 and 3 as a pair of vertically opposite angles and 2 and 4 as a pair of vertically opposite angles. In the second figure, we have AKX, XKB as one pair of vertically opposite. Then we have AKS and SKB as the second pair. Then we have CSY and KSD as a third pair, and CSK and KSD as the fourth pair. CSK and DSY is the fourth pair. Now, while identifying a transversal, you should check whether it is intersecting the number of lines at the same number of points. So, let us check whether XY is transversal to the lines W, X, and Z. No. Because here Y should intersect the three lines X, Z, W. This is the first condition, and it should intersect at three distinct points. But note that Y is intersecting only W and X, but it is not intersecting Z. That's why line X is transversal to the line WYZ, because line X is intersecting all the three lines WYZ, but line Y is not intersecting the line Z. Hence, Y is not transversal to the lines WZ and X. Also, for the line W, it is transversal to XYZ because W intersects X, it intersects Y, and it intersects Z also. So we have X in transversal, W transversal, but Y is not the transversal. Let us see for practical geometry. When you are constructing a triangle with given measures, for SAS criteria or ASA, then the origin of protector should be kept at the proper vertex. Also, while drawing the angles, make sure the center of the protector is coinciding with the proper vertex and the baseline is kept along the side of the triangle drawn. So in the first figure, you can see the line segment AB and the baseline of the protector is coinciding, but in the second figure, they are not. So the first way is a correct way of placing the protector along the side of the triangle. Next, let us see, while drawing the rough sketches of the triangles before construction, you have to make sure whether you have marked the parts of the triangle according to the measures given in the question. You should not interchange them or mark wrong parts with wrong measures. So if you have given a triangle having side AB equal to 5.8 and angles ACB equal to 60 degree and angle CB equal to 30 degree, then the second and third figure is giving you wrong sketches, whereas the first sketch is the correct one. Let us see some exam tips for these two chapters. First one is you should practice a variety of questions from NCERT textbooks, exam plus other textbooks and from previous year question papers. So you have to practice a lot of construction questions. Then you have to note down all the definitions and properties separately so that before going to the test you can glance and you can revise those definitions and properties. And also you should identify the properties that needs to be applied or checked, especially when you are dealing with transversal to parallel lines or transversal to non-parallel lines, or you have to make sure the property of a transversal, or when we can call a transversal is intersecting two or three lines at distinct points. Then to draw a rough sketch to present the equation. This will help you to identify the property to be applied. Also, you should avoid calculation mistakes, and especially when you are adding the measures of two angles or you are subtracting them from the particular measure, then you have to check and verify the answers. Also, you have to write the correct question number. And while you're drawing geometrical figures, make sure you are using a sharp pencil and not a blunt one. Ensure all the geometrical instruments are working and accurate, especially whenever you are using protector. Use a good protector with no faded markings or no uneven edges. Also, before constructing a triangle of given measure, make sure you have drawn the rough sketch of the triangle so that there are no mistakes while you are drawing the angles or the sides. Also, name the figures correctly according to the question. And whenever you are solving word problems, always check what is given in the question and what you have to find. This will help you to identify which property or which strategy you have to apply to solve that given question. Also, you have to read the question carefully and understand it. I hope this session was helpful, and if you want to quickly revise the concepts, practice some extra sums, and also take a quick test, then exam prep kit on counting well is here. Counting well exam prep kit lets you quickly glance through the major concepts of your chapter. You can also glance through the solved examples, practice questions, and chapter assessments. You will also understand the tips and tricks, the common errors that you make, etc. Over 75,000 students trust counting well for their maths learning, and even without the exam prep kit, they can learn every day on the app by diving deep into every chapter. You can download the app from the App Store or Play Store. Also, stay connected to our channel Counting Well and learn more tricks and tips and ways to avoid the common mistakes. We will be revising the chapters Triangles and its properties and congruence of triangles from class 7 in our next live session tomorrow on 10th February at 6:30 p.m. Well, see you in the next session. Until then, keep learning, keep growing. Thank you.